put them in the tournament. A win tonight would definitely make them a solid NCAA tournament team. Off the opening tap, Agbaji turns, shoots in and out, and a rebound for Eddie Lampkin.
We talked about Lampkin before the game. Coach Self has such respect for him, the hands, the feet. He's done such a great job on his body.
And TCU, an outstanding rebounding team, and Lampkin helping lead the way in that. Get in the hands of Miles. Shot clock gets to 5. Miles going to put up a 3. It's up. It's good.
Well, Harris is the defender for Kansas. That's what he does. He gets into people, but Miles has a physicality about him that's unique and different. He's going to have to push up on that screen because Miles can shoot with extreme range.
That pass by Brown, trying to go over the top of Lampkin. He would have nothing to do with that. There's a 3 from Baugh. McCormick bounced it off the court, and it goes into the hands of O'Bannon. Boy, McCormick.
Look at the deep post for Lampkin.
Lampkin and McCormick already very physical. 6 to shoot. Miles, skip pass, catch and shoot 3 is up. Not there for Miller, but an offensive rebound. Lampkin then traveled.
Boy, that's an example of what Coach Self is talking about, the hands there. He has great mitts on him. But how about the pass that Miles made? You know, you wonder why guys are considered good. One of the reasons Miles is so good is he can make plays in the air in terms of passing the ball over length.
Trying to lob for Agbaji. Lightfoot has it.
Oh, God. Don't let that go by. That was incredible that Agbaji even got his hands on that. He is so athletic.
Lob, Lightfoot scores to get Kansas on the board.
Lightfoot obviously can finish around the basket. It's not a big drop-off with him on the floor versus McCormick.
Miller facing up on Brown. Again, the shot clock winding down. Under 5. Lampkin, left elbow. He's going to put up a jumper, and it goes.
Mark, you talk about guys' hands. That's an example. Did you see the soft touch around the basket? That's a guy with soft hands. Soft hands equals soft touch on the rim. Great shot there by Lampkin. He's done such a great job on his game and his body.
Lightfoot, contact from Baugh. TCU foul.
Both of these teams are good. Both of the teams' personnel is good. Nice pocket pass. Agbaji doesn't close out that space. Lampkin knocks down a little elbow jump shot. But here we had a mismatch with Baugh on this end of the floor and Lightfoot. And Kansas took advantage of it and got him the ball down underneath the basket. Both of these teams are so mature and the coaches are so smart. We were talking about before the game, Coach Self scoring droughts, particularly in the league. He was quick to remind me that he's had a couple this season. He's always a little humble about his team. I think these two teams are arguably the best offensively in terms of flow and the way that they play, Mark.
Well, Lightfoot there, Lance, 1 of 2. One of those droughts you're referring was when Kansas finished the first half at Oklahoma State, missing their last 19 shots of the half.
And Coach was quick to remind me, hey, we can have our droughts as well.
Turning, shooting, splash down Emmanuel Miller. TCU has hit 3 of their first 5 shots from the field.
Well, this is great with TCU when you get multiple guys involved, takes pressure off of Miles.
Lightfoot shooting over Baugh and in. Mitch Lightfoot, who's playing in his 157th game at Kansas, more than any other player in KU history. He passed Danny Manning, who's now number 2 with 147 career games at Kansas.
Danny Manning, one of the all-time college greats, and also went on to have a great pro career. Continues to coach now, interim coach at Maryland.
Bounced away. Brown on the run. Lost the dribble, able to get it back. Too hard, trying to kiss it in. And Kansas unable to score in transition.
One of the keys for TCU will be taking care of the ball.
Miles in and out. Christian Brown boards for Kansas.
Well, that just shows you how physical Miles is. It's a much bigger Brown, but he had no problem getting to where he wanted to, getting the shot off.
Jalen Wilson, who got off to a terrible start this year, shooting the three, has been much better the second half of the season, and he switched that one to give KU their first lead.
Yeah, doesn't shoot great from that range, only about 27%, but he struggled even last year, I thought, with confidence. I think he's been a lot better this year since he's gotten things going.
Baji guarding Miles. Only one shot for Baji so far for Kansas. Tipped around, Cork tried to give it to Miller. It deflected off him, and here comes Jalen Wilson, the drive in the bucket.
Well, that's just too easy. It was an offensive rebound, but then obviously the turnover. Sometimes TCU can get a little undisciplined. I think that's cost them a couple of big games this year where they just got a little sloppy with the ball. Ball security so important in a game like this, Mark.
Three, left corner, a little long from O'Bannon.
TCU has the 3 turnovers. That's something that we need to monitor, Mark. This is a team that turns the ball over 20 times just at a high clip.
Francisco Farabello is checked in for the Frogs. Baugh, a little floater down low. That's Coles. Coles scores for the first time since February 8th against Oklahoma State. He had not scored in the last 6 games.
Yeah, but he can do that. He has the size, depth, meaning rebound the basketball, and that's where TCU surprises people. I think their physicality.
Abaji left open, and he drains a 3.
He's just gotten so good. Before this year, he spent so much time on the wings and in the corner, letting guys help him make plays. He's now coming off of screens, dribbling the ball and finding open spaces and getting his shot.
Coles called for a travel by official Keith Kimball.
See, he comes off the screen. You can't go under on him. The reason is he is just as good in the mid-range as he is taking those shots beyond the arc.
And Abaji has scored in double figures in every game he's played in this year. That's 27. He missed 1 game against Iowa State in early February when he had COVID briefly. Loose ball picked up Wilson. Lampkin frustrated as he gets up off the deck. Thought he had possession, but 7 early points for Jalen Wilson. Six-point lead for Kansas, their largest so far. Miles lost the handle. Remy Martin, who's checked into the game for Kansas, might have gotten a hand on that.
Martin did a nice job.
Farabello swishes a 3.
Miles is more of a combo guard, which makes him dangerous. He's the first and second option when he has the ball, but he's very good at finding teammates on time and on target. None better than Farabello from range.
Wilson passed up the 3. Knocked out of bounds off Coles.
Yeah, Brown did a poor job there. He's got to drift to the corner. Here you see it. He can't turn the corner. Remy did a good job. Eyes in the back of his head. He knows he's got spacers, as in shooters, around the arc. It's a great job turning and finding Farabello.
Remy Martin, it rolls off. Remy, who played 11.5 minutes Saturday against Baylor, his first game. He had missed 7 in a row. Hadn't played since the Kentucky game until playing in Waco on Saturday.
Yeah, and what he's doing with this team, as in Martin, is very difficult when you don't play consistent minutes at that position.
Micah Peavy drives and scores.
That's a perfect example, Mark, of the athleticism we talk about. Peavy is as athletic as Agbaji, which allows him to get to the basket and finish over him.
Peavy defending Agbaji. Wilson on Farabello defensively. It gives him a little push, got away with it, turns, shoots, and scores off the glass.
Yeah, Kansas is doing a great job, Mark, of finding the mismatches. That's a huge mismatch with Farabello trying to guard Wilson. He's got to get help. Give him that much space. It's going to be a long night with Farabello on the defensive end of the floor.
Jalen Wilson, 9 points. He's 4 of 4 from the field. Lampkin turning, shooting off the right side. Remy Martin went crashing out of bounds for a moment. He's quickly back into play, fires a pass ahead for Agbaji. His pass off the fingertips was not a great pass. Off McCormick and a turnover. Miles going to the rim.
For Agbaji to have to do on the offensive end of the floor, Mark.
Jalen Wilson's dad, Darrell, played basketball here at TCU. He is in attendance tonight. So Jalen's dad in the house, Darrell. His son's put off a very good performance here the first 9-10 minutes of this game. Miles sinks both free throws. Makes it a 1-point game.
And with Agbaji on the bench, scoring turns to that man there, Brown, as well as Wilson.
And Remy Martin and Harris in the game together.
And essentially 2 point guards.
Martin in a crowd, passes out of it back to Wilson. Harris hands off Christian Brown, 2 to shoot. Brown's going to have to put this up. That's a 3. It is up and banked in by Christian Brown as the shot clock expired.
Well, sometime a little luck, you don't mind it. TCU did everything right on that possession except guard the bank shot.
That's a hard one to guard. First bucket of the game for Christian Brown. Manuel Miller has the advantage here size-wise on Harris. Farabello now with 6 to shoot. Lightfoot. Court backs him down, shoots and scores with the right hand.
Well, with Lampkin and Court, they're like it's like a 2 or 3 headed monster there for the bigs here for TCU. They can match Kansas everywhere on the floor physically.
Wilson's 3 was just a little bit long. TCU has already gone 9 deep in the rotation, which is the normal rotation for Jamie Dixon. Got 9 bench points. Half their points have come off the bench.
You got to have a dude late in the shot clock who can go get you one.
Farabello reverses and scores.
And if you don't have a dude, don't panic. Defense lost the man. Farabello, good catch, or great catch and finish.
Tough shot for Brown, tipped around off the deck, taken by Farabello. Miles trying to get past Martin, lost the handle. It's off Kansas's Remy Martin. Agbaji is going to check back in for Kansas.
Well, good job of Cork here. He just takes his time. And you see there, Harris loses Farabello. Good job. You've got to see ball and man at all times.
Catch and shoot off the inbounds. Damian Baugh. TCU back in front.
Yeah, Ball's been a bit of an X factor for TCU. Especially as the season has gone on, he's showing a consistent ability to score the ball. He's just got to make sure he takes care of the ball as well.
Baugh hounding Agbaji. It's a 7-0 run here for TCU. Brown trying to end that, and he does with the driving layup.
Well, the ball movement there, Mark, is what created that offense. That was 0.5 offense. The ball was popping. Very difficult for the defense to stay in front of the offensive player when the ball's moving that well. Yesufu
in the game. Miles able to get around a screen. Offensive rebound. Court kicks it out. Baugh, 3 on the way. Agbaji pulls down the board for Kansas. Brown has Harris on the near side. That comes from the corner, and that was partially blocked. O'Bannon got a hand on it. O'Bannon dribbled a little behind him, but then Harris diving towards the baseline, slides out of bounds, and it touched the ball last.
Coach Dixon is either begging for a better pass or better hands. He was literally on one knee. I think he's wanting better hands there as he's laughing. I'm not so sure. I'd want a little bit better pass there. Maybe a little bit of both. is only 4 shots. He's got to get more opportunities than that, or you would at least hope he can get more than that.
Baggio averages 20 points per game. Here is Agbaji. He's going to take the baseline jumper. It does not draw iron. It's tied up by O'Bannon and Brown. Brown got his hands in there. It's going to be Kansas ball with the possession arrow.
This last 2:34 is critical for TCU. Obviously, you want to finish strong, but you don't want momentum to shift going into the half. I think there's a lot of value in maintaining a level of momentum for yourself.
Harris on the drive. Xavier Court blocks that away.
Personnel. Hats off to TCU. They have all the personnel to make plays. You need guys to make plays. This is a great block. A little bit of rim protection for TCU.
Kansas didn't realize they had it on the possession arrow, but the shot clock didn't reset. And then only a few seconds, and that's Kansas's 3rd turnover.
And I think it's the enormity of that block is what created that. It was almost a distraction for Kansas. Collateral impact of the block boded well for TCU.
Miles. Loose ball picked off the floor. Jalen Coleman lands in the game now for Kansas. Agbaji seeing a lane, trying to drive. PB a block. Kept it in bounds, and it's TCU up the floor. O'Bannon. Lightfoot the block, then he goes over, tumbling over the back of O'Bannon.
What does that block do to the mental psychology of Agbaji? He went to finish. The defense was just much better. And then how about TCU attacking at the offensive end of the floor? They are not letting off the pedal right now, Mark. TCU at both ends, the aggressor.
Largest lead of the game for TCU of 6. Of 5 make that. Kansas's largest lead was 6 earlier in the game. Peavy has defended Agbaji extremely well. Open 3 from the corner from Ochai. Agbaji, splash.
Well, he just answered that question of what happens with the psychology. Comes right back and just drains one.
At a time, Lance, when you felt Kansas really needed a basket there.
Well, and I felt he was on the ropes a little bit. Ochai, I mean, he was very comfortable taking that 3 ball after only making 1 field goal before that.
Wilson was going to let Peavy take that 3, but he elects not to. Shot clock at 5, just over a minute to go. Quick pass.
What a pass.
O'Bannon will shoot that from the corner. A little flat. Fell short.
Wow. Did you see that hook pass? Woo.
Jalen Coleman lands. Big rainbow 3, and all of a sudden, with back-to-back 3s the last 2 times down the floor, Kansas up by 1.
Well, that's what Coleman lands is on.
Kansas is doing a better job on the boards, but still being out-rebounded 19-12 overall.
Well, do they go for 2 for 1? I thought they might.
Lob, tip, Miller. Lampkin going at it, loose ball. Coleman Lance has it, and Kansas can hold it for the final shot.
Yeah, and Coleman Lance remains dangerous because of his ability to shoot the ball.
Agbaji, pull-up jumper, in and out. Wilson, 3 seconds. Wilson trying to go back up, just threw it up off the backboard.
Yeah, exactly right. He does know. And essentially, I mean, Court, you mentioned him, the amazing block he had. There's not a ton you can do about it other than be very fundamental and disciplined.
This is the first meeting of the year between these teams. They're going to play again in 2 days in Lawrence. A little push called on McCormick.
I mean, that is incredibly deliberate, right out of the half. And you're going to go right away to Lampkin. Look, this is our big versus your big. We're going to post him up because we think we can exploit your big.
Second foul on McCormick.
You got to watch that, because if they go back to him, Lampkin, they can get in some foul trouble, Kansas, with their big fella McCormick.
Miles, fade away, rims out. Christian Brown, 7 points in the first half, hit a 3. Agbaji limited to 6 points in the first half. McCormick, kind of a late whistle after Lampkin had rebounded, but they're going to call Eddie for the foul and put David McCormick at the line. Lampkin's first personal.
And that was about ball movement. Harris did a great job. Watch him lead McCormick. See, I don't think McCormick should have brought that ball down. Mark, you saw where he caught it. He caught it pretty close to the rim. I hope he would catch and finish right there. Very fortunate there to get the call. Go to the free throw line.
You know, looking at that replay, ball kind of reached in, but it did give the foul to Lampkin. You know, McCormick picked up his second. He's the first player on either team to 2 fouls. So no, at least at this point, no big foul issues on either side here early in the second half.
Some of that speaks to Lampkin's feet, meaning they're good for his size. I mean, only have 1 foul, as much as they've attempted to go inside and or go to the big fella for Kansas, is pretty impressive.
See Kansas on an 8-0 run when you take it back to the end of the first half. O'Bannon, Lampkin facing up on McCormick. Spinning, shooting. Got his own miss. Goes back up. Tip. That one falls for O'Bannon. Third opportunity for TCU.
That's what I mean about fundamental basketball. If you are Kansas, you have to go find bodies. How many times have we seen that tonight? 9 times.
Agbaji, that Euro step, left it short. O'Bannon hands off. Miles on the run. Doesn't have numbers, but he does find the one driving to the rim. Laid in by Emmanuel Miller.
Credit Mike Miles. Yes, Miller for running, but Miles slowed up and kind of ran a slow break to put his team in position to get that finish. Great job by both players.
Deflected. Lampkin took a swat at it. McCormick got to it first. They're going to let Harris shoot a 3. Tip. McCormick, he gets the offensive board. The putback, no!
I thought the big fella McCormick should have made that. He bailed out a little bit. Just go up strong and finish that close to the basket.
O'Bannon off the left side. McCormick rebounds up ahead for Harris.
And they got numbers.
Brown had it knocked away. Miller. Wilson trying to save it, just threw it back, and it goes out of bounds to TCU.
We've been talking about the athleticism all game long, Mark, and you can feel sometime in these kind of games where the athleticism will take over and teams will turn it up a notch. I feel that from Kansas, but I also feel TCU is batching it at every level and position on the floor right now.
Bill Self goes to Jalen Coleman, lands. He didn't play much in the first half, but did knock down a 3.
Spark.
Well, with that switch, they had Coleman lands on a much bigger.
Going to panic. I mean, we spent time with Coach Self before the game, and I just love his demeanor. He really has the vibe of a pro coach in the way he trusts his guys and allows them to do what they do so well. Looks like they're trying to get it inside to the big fella, McCormick.
Harris, McCormick somehow came down with it, and it rolls around and in. That snaps a 6-0 run for TCU. First field goal of the second half for Kansas.
Yeah, that's out of a timeout, so you knew they were trying to go inside. Reminiscent of last season when McCormick had it going. Coach Self will rely on him a lot underneath the basket.
Miller, second chance, third chance, Miller. Got it, and one.
Right now, TCU is telling Kansas not tonight. This is our game. And how are they telling them? Look at this effort. They're three guys. Give it to me. Give me this. Give me this ball so I can put it in the basket. That's just want to. That's just effort. That is just a guy's will to want to rebound the basketball and finish.
12 offensive rebounds for TCU. You know, the lifetime series between these teams, 22-2 Kansas. KU's won the last 8 in a row, 18 of the last 19. Only wins for TCU in the Big 12 tournament in 2017 in Kansas City, and here in 2013 when they beat number 5 Kansas. McCormick can't. Wilson, second chance points. There haven't been a whole lot of those for Kansas tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, meaning TCU, the way they've been crashing. The glass, Kansas does the same thing, getting guys spread out on the floor with the help at the rim.
Wilson's been the big scorer for Kansas tonight with 11. Lampkin, 13th offensive rebound for TCU. Farabello in and out.
Doesn't matter for TCU, just shoot it, because you're going to get at least 2 shots at it every time.
Coleman lands, long 2 off the left side. Miles comes out for TCU. Peavy, 3 on the way. A 2-point shot. They say it's a 2.
That, I believe, was that a long 2?
A very long 2, and it's a 12-4 run for TCU.
The right shot for Peavy, not exactly what he does to shoot threes, only 18% from that distance.
Wilson, tip, McCormick. That bounces off. Coleman lands, back for Agbaji. 3 Agbaji, no. Run down by Farabello.
How about this? Aggressive.
Miles trying to split the 2 defenders. And the
goes to the coaches. Because at the offensive end of the floor, these guys really allow their players to hoop. I mean, there's a balance in that they have really good players. They do a great job of opening things up, allowing them to let their creativity and athleticism and their ability to lead the way.
Yesufu brings it ahead for Kansas. For KU, Agbaji, 6 points. He's 2 of 4 in 3-point shooting. He's missed all 6 of his 2-point shots, so he's 2 of 10 overall. Yesufu on the drive. Lampkin comes over to protect the rim, and a foul committed by the Frogs.
Yesufu easily in the entirety of the conference is quickest guy with the ball. Watch this. This is like a running back who sees a hole. He shoots right in there. You've got to space him because he doesn't shoot the ball well, and it's difficult to shoot over guys. You can't be that close to him. I would go under on any screens with him, any pick and roll type situations. I'm going under. And this man,
with Daniel Tomlinson.
Yeah, Mr. Tomlinson and Yesufu, I wonder who would be quickest getting to the hole.
Running downhill, Yesufu.
In their heyday, how about that?
I don't know, LT looks like he could still rush for a couple of 100 yards in a game.
Yeah, I think he's the big Jackie Robinson. He's got a Jackie Robinson role, and he's at the 40 deuce on him. He's the 42 now. I don't know if he still has those kind of wills.
Baugh. Coles, his second bucket of the night.
You love when a guy is not playing big minutes and can come in and make solid contributions. That's what Coles has done tonight. Both halves.
Boy, Peavy has really defended Agbaji well tonight. McCormick back for Agbaji. Agbaji the drive. Offensive foul.
We have that possession goes to Lampkin. You don't have to double McCormick because he uses that big body to wedge him out, and then he moves and takes the charge. That ball came out because of Lampkin, and guess what? Here I am, and you're running me over. Give that man the MVP of that possession. I don't know what comes with it. He's hitting the floor because he alone stopped Kansas on that particular possession.
Second foul on Agbaji. O'Bannon says, I will toot the three. It's in and out. Agbaji with the Kansas rebound.
You gotta love how aggressive TCU stays.
Wilson. He's been the primary scorer for Kansas tonight, Jalen Wilson. Leading the team with 11.
And I thought that was what he struggled with last year. Wilson, he went through a period where he could barely make a layup. I mean, you're from Kansas, you might remember. I just thought he wasn't as aggressive as he should be. Tonight, that is certainly not the case. He's got the confidence back.
The foul was on Farabello. Two quick ones on him here in the half. He has three now, so he goes to the bench. Agbaji turns and shoots. He left it short. Agbaji now 2 for 11 from the field. Miles on a drive by Agbaji, does so and scores.
I think I can.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that TCU's win over Texas Tech on Saturday, it's kind of bled over from that big win for them. Adams somehow got it to Agbaji, reverses it, scores. What a play. There were white jerseys all around Ochai, and he gets just his third basket of the game.
Yeah, call out of the timeout, went right to your star and let your star be a star. Agbaji just manufactured a basket there and a lot of traffic.
Low, that was kicked by Kansas as they were starting to run out.
Agbaji posts right over the top. Double team comes. I mean, that's an incredibly difficult shot there. Watch it with the left hand. Little hook, got away with it because it was so quick.
Averaging over 20 per game, 8 now tonight. For Ochai Agbaji, who looks to be the odds-on favorite for Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yeah, and an odds-on favorite to be a very good NBA player. Great spacing here offensively. A lot of room to work.
Catch and shoot three ball. Lightfoot rebound. Here come the Jayhawks. Down 5.
Well, that's not the big win. It's a little win for TCU, though. You just want to get a good shot every time down the floor.
Yesufu, a kick to Brown.
Great ball movement.
Yesufu, block. They're going to count it. Goaltend.
When Kansas has gotten in trouble, Mark, they've done an exceptional job of moving the ball. And when the ball moves as fast as it does with this Kansas ball team, it's very difficult for the defense to adjust. Oh, great pass.
O'Bannon punched all the way out near midcourt to Miles. The offensive rebounding continuing for TCU.
Isolation.
Miller. Ball. Gonna break down Yesufu. O'Bannon 3 right side. Another offensive rebound. 15 offensive rebounds for TCU. The drive, they don't need to offensive rebound that. Barr sticks it home.
You see, Brown has to do a better job of boxing Miller out on the perimeter. He can't let him get close to the rim and turn it into an athletic contest, because Brown will lose that with Miller.
TCU leads Kansas in second chance points 11-3 tonight. A lot of that the offensive turnovers. They have really struggled in the turnover department this year. It's cost them a bunch of games.
Yeah, 15, and the key will be who blinks.
That's an over and back. Bill Self disagreeing. He's saying that was deflected by a TCU player.
Good fortune, yeah, and the TCU player was Mike Miles.
I was talking about turnovers. There's Kansas's 5th.
Yeah, Mike Miles just showing the number of ways that you can impact the game. I don't know. But I tell you what, that's the reason that you apply pressure. And look at the cutting. Each guy, part of that is Kansas's defense, but also how hard these guys are playing.
Miller shoots over Yesufu. Boy, Lampkin is going right over the top of McCormick.
Okay, as quick as Yesufu is, Mark, you want to go to whoever he is guarding, particularly inside the three-point line. He's very quick, but the size, you want to take advantage.
Loose ball, offensive rebound, Peavy scores. The offensive rebounding just continues for TCU. 16, make it 17 offensive rebounds tonight.
They're just rebound magnets. Look at Peavy. I mean, he's wedged out. And we talked about it at the Open with Brown having a double-double his last outing. He's just having a hard time with this athleticism of TCU tonight.
And Candace turns it over for a 6th time.
And I think that's the pressure of Peavy on Agbaji there. That's what forced that bad pass. That's also part of asking who's going to blink first. That's a blink because both teams with 4 turnovers. Every possession here is critical.
Lightfoot called for the Kansas foul.
Yeah, that's opportunistic there by Miles, recognizing he had a big switched out on him. Exactly how you're supposed to play that. Force the big to try to move his feet, knowing yours are quicker.
2nd foul on Mitch Lightfoot. Now defends Cork in the corner. Miles getting past Lightfoot. It rolled off the rim that time. Martin throws it right into the belly of Peavy.
Yeah, he played it like a free safety.
Miles blocked by Agbaji. Out of bounds. TCU ball. 3 consecutive turnovers now by Kansas. I mentioned turnovers weren't a story. Now they are becoming one for Kansas.
Yeah, and Peavy did a great job hit there. And see, I think Miles did a poor job there exposing the ball. He should have kept that ball and allowed for body contact. He's strong enough and athletic enough to take the hit and then finish.
Quick rest for Lampkin. He's right back in.
Yeah, he is. And how about the job? I mean, for a guy who is 1 for 4 on the night, his impact has been as large and big as anyone on the floor.
He has 8 rebounds. Kick. See the 2nd half turnovers, all 4 of Kansas.
I think that last play by Miles took a little bit of energy out of him.
Lampkin right back to the bench. Kansas has brought in true freshman Zach Clements for the first time in this game. Baugh on Clements. Clements got a hand on that. Baugh gets it back.
Well, that's making an impact right away.
Baugh now Brown shoots over Brown. Clements.
So it hasn't been a no-minute situation.
Well, for TCU, their season high in a game for offensive rebounds, 22. That came against Austin Peay in non-conference play in late November. They have 19 right now with over 9 minutes to go.
They should obliterate that the way things have been going.
Remy Martin scores. First bucket for Remy Martin, his 2nd shot of the game. Playing in his 2nd consecutive game after missing 7 in a row.
Very good job just going to a spot and creating some space over Farabella.
So TCU by 5. It seems like the lead would be a lot bigger for TCU, but it is just a 5-point edge. Miles.
I think that timeout helped Miles. I thought he was lagging a little bit before the timeout. He's come back with a burst of energy. Little mismatch here.
Miles leading all scorers with 14 points. Martin. Wilson 3. Miles knocked down. Play continues to Peavy. We slip under the 8-minute mark in Fort Worth.
Exactly who you want to have the ball. Got to be able to make late clock plays.
Oh, Miles, 10-point lead for TCU.
Did I see a kiss to the crowd? Miles feeling pretty good.
Abaji pinned up underneath the basket. Allen in and out. Adams couldn't score.
Adams couldn't make that. He's athletic enough.
And right now, Kansas has no answer. Bill Self.
20% from beyond the arc. To your point earlier, it doesn't feel that way, but the numbers and the performance for me with TCU don't match, and I think it's because of the way they've competed.
Abaji in and out. Kansas just one field goal their last 6 possessions with 3 turnovers in their 6. Missed from the corner by Abaji.
TCU is just stingy. Even when they've given up offensive rebounds such as that, they have met every challenge with a whole new level. And how about the confidence right now with no Miles on the floor this late in the game?
Yeah, with a double-digit lead, they're getting Miles some rest. Ball looking for Lampkin. Peavy, floater with the shot clock expiring. It did not hit the rim.
That's a rarity in that TCU doesn't get a shot off. So get Miles, get the timeout, and then you get another roughly a minute. Good job by Coach Dixon. Get him that rest here down the home stretch.
That's the first turnover of the second half for TCU, that shot clock violation.
And not a live ball turnover, which is critical, because you've got to still go against a set defense. So if you're going to have a turnover, that's the kind you want it to be, a non-live ball turnover.
6 minutes to go. Stuff, McCormick, foul.
Well, Kansas might have gotten away with a travel there. Great block. And Ball has to step in and help the helper.
6 blocks for TCU tonight, 2nd for Lampkin.
Still plenty of time, Mark, but I think Kansas is going to have to speed this game up a little bit. As we've talked about all game long, TCU is not turning the ball over. And also, I think they are athletic enough to attack the pressure that Kansas desperately needs to apply. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to apply some pressure. And I think TCU will be fine as long as they maintain a level of poise.
Points in the paint, big advantage for TCU. 32-22 in favor of the Frogs.
And those points in the paint are in large part, sorry, pal, because of the offensive rebounds as well as these guards, namely this one, Mike Miles, getting downhill.
Yeah, the rebounding is the other story to tell. 40-29 favor of TCU. Harris trying to get the steal.
Very strong with the ball. Good job.
5 on the shot clock. Baugh, O'Bannon. Tough shot, short. Brown pulling down the rebound for the Jayhawks.
You're up 10, and even O'Bannon, who is one of their scorers, hadn't been great tonight at all. He struggled from the perimeter.
McCormick, well off the left side, able to get it back. Jalen Wilson. Kid Kissinger blows the whistle this time. Away from the play.
And I think that's a good foul. I mean, again, nothing easy. And typically Kansas has McCormick where they can go in and pound the ball and just methodically get back in this game and be very deliberate. But instead, Lampkin is matching the physicality of McCormick. So essentially, Mark, there's nothing there.
The foul was on Lampkin, his third.
Yeah, that was a good foul.
17 foul, the front end of a 1-and-1, missed by Jalen Wilson.
Well, make me out of a profit. Yeah, and the ball, you missed the free throws.
And the Kansas loss, and then they had Baylor even in the loss column. With Baylor up a game on the win side. Lampkin down low. Lay-in for Emmanuel Miller.
Well, that's exactly what you have to do in that situation. Just turn and look. Great delivery of the ball.
Wilson in a crowd. Banks it in. To make it a 10-point game again.
Well, Wilson has been so good all game long, finding offense.
He leads Kansas with 13. McCormick, the other Jayhawk, in double figures with 11.
You know these Jayhawks are not going to go away.
4 minutes to go. TCU trying to beat Kansas just for the third time in 25 meetings, and it looked like it was going to bounce in, and then Lampkin
played a different TCU team than they're playing now. Had they played in the new year, I think they would have kicked off conference play against one another.
Yeah, they were supposed to play New Year's Day. With COVID with TCU, postponed that game. So McCormick misses the front end of a 1-and-1. TCU has 3 wins against the AP Top 25 this year. They've never had 4 in a season. They might get that tonight.
Great pass. Again, TCU, good shot every time down the floor. Great ball movement. Look at that thing pop.
Agbaji, 3. Kansas needed a big shot. Still down 7.
When you move the ball like that, it creates a rhythm, and that's what you saw there with Kansas. They allowed their system and offense, and the way they spread the floor, to create that opportunity to score the ball.
First made 3 of the second half for the Jayhawks. They had missed their first 5.
Late clock.
Down to 3. Peavy's going to have to drive. Spins, falls down, and then traveled with only 1 on the shot clock.
Yeah, the late clock, you want that ball to be in the ball handler's hands, either Ball or Miller. And speaking of moving the ball, look at this. Agbaji's going to get that back. Harris does the right thing, the better three-point shooter. And I really think that's where his bread is buttered, catching and shooting. 1 dribble, 2 dribble.
Jamie Dixon has Lampkin on the bench with 4 fouls. O'Bannon comes out now.
You have to believe that Kansas has at least a couple of more swings in them. This much time to play.
It's a big possession right here, and they turn it over.
Well, one of the beauties of Mike Miles, he's so big and strong at his size. Doesn't look it, but bigger guys have difficulty taking advantage of him.
Now TCU content to eat some of this clock.
Yeah, but you don't want to stop playing. It's in the right person's hands, but you want to maintain the level of aggression.
Yesufu called for the foul with 8 on the shot clock.
Yesufu is going to be able to stay in front of Miles. It's just that Miles is much stronger. Here you see him tip the ball away. Wilson was going to try to use his body to take advantage. Watching Miles, he's just so big and strong, as you mentioned. He's like Tomlinson over there. He's like a running back, a fullback, I should say.
That was the 16th foul against Kansas. 1 more, they're in the bonus. Miles, that may be the dagger.
Coleman lands exactly. He's on the floor. He's a catch and shoot guy from beyond the arc, so Ball will have to stay with him.
There is Coleman lands, and he hits a 3. Just came off the bench and makes it a 6-point game.
Well, you have to know that's why he's in the game. Micah Peavy detached from him. You've got to stay connected.
Miles. Right to Cork in the stuff to respond for the Frogs.
There's not a statistic for this, but their response to Kansas's scoring has been excellent all night. Every time Kansas has swung and landing at a punch, if you will, comparing this to boxing, TCU has punched right back. Miles did it right after that three. They'll take an exchange, a three for a dunk. Both have a positive impact on your team. The three obviously for Kansas, but the dunk right back makes a statement as well for TCU.
Jamie Dixon's team trailed by 1 at the half, 35-34. They've outscored Kansas 33-24 here in the second half. Travel on Miles.
Right call.
Who was surrounded by Jayhawks.
The right call.
Jamie Dixon going to bring Peavy back in, who's done a really nice job defending Agbaji tonight.
Yeah, and he's doing offense, defense, but you'll see the feet shuffle. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps before he put that down, so that was a great call.
Just a minute 20 or so to go. Brown. Rebound Peavy. Kansas foul to stop the clock with 1:12 left.
Coach Dixon has done a great job with his substitution patterns here late. He had Peavy on the floor for this reason. His defense stays in front of Brown extremely well and then goes and gets the rebound. This is athleticism. He stops the man and then goes and gets the rebound. When you can put together multiple plays on either end of the floor, as Micah Peavy does and can do, this often makes you much more athletic than the competition.
So few second chance points for Kansas tonight. Only 5. A 3 from Christian Brown. His second 3 tonight.
A lot of basketball left to be played here.
Under a minute. They foul Damian Baugh, who's a 61% free throw shooter with 51.8 to go in a 5-point game.
Yeah, Kansas opting to make this a long game and a free throw shooting contest. It's the right man that you want shooting that with the personnel that's on the floor for Kansas.
Well, Agbaji committed the foul. That's his 4th. 1 and 1, and switch from Baugh. Big free throw there for TCU. Make it a 6-point game. This could make it a 3-possession game.
See, Harris doesn't shoot the ball very well. Only 29% from beyond the arc, so you can help off of him.
Agbaji stumbles. Peavy whistled by Jamie Lucky for the foul. Said he got him with a knee.
That's difficult defensively.
First foul on Peavy, amazing. As much as he's guarded Agbaji tonight, that's his first foul.
Yeah, and a guy coming at you that hard, it's almost nothing you can do there. I mean, Agbaji, he created the contact as much as Peavy fouled.
Front end hit by Agbaji. Kansas had missed a couple of front ends here in this second half. Agbaji hits that one, though, to make it a 5-point contest. KJ Adams is going to check back in for Kansas.
And you want this ball. You want it in Miles' hands, obviously, because of his ability to shoot free throws.
68-64. Guard the inbounds of Farabello running the baseline.
It's about ball security and making free throws for TCU.
Adams fouls Baugh. Going to go back to the line. With 46.1 seconds left. TCU, a 66% free throw shooting team this year.
Well, Baugh only shoots 61%.
TCU 9 of 13 from the line tonight. That's 69%. That was the 19th foul. So this is a 1-and-1 here for Damian Ball. Swish and hit the front end.
Huge.
Very big.
Still two-possession game.
Hits them both. 6-point lead. Number 6 Kansas on the ropes. Sabaji 3. Bouncing around and out. Tip into the corner. Farabello gets to it.
You want to run clock here. Great decision.
Foul stops it with 29.7 left. Well, that shot by Abaji. It came out.
Mark, I'm not sure Ball would have made that play even 3 weeks ago. Did a great job of recognizing time and score. And in that situation, it was more valuable not to score and to run clock there. And especially with him being in a rhythm here late. Get fouled and get to the line. Great decision making all the way around here late for TCU. That's, in my mind, been the catalyst for TCU here in this game.
TCU has only beaten Kansas here at TCU one time. That was 9 years ago. Trying to beat him for just the 3rd time in 25 meetings. Harris. Oh, Micah Peavy with the defensive play. That kind of put the exclamation point on this as TCU looks headed for a 2nd consecutive win over a top 10 opponent.
I think that last play symbolizes the game. He literally just scraped that off the glass and said, give me that basketball. But you have to know. Watch the scrape. This just is going to say, give me that. That's what TCU has dealt with all game long.
Well, Kansas came in controlling their own destiny as far as trying to win the conference outright. A loss here. They're even in the loss column with Baylor. One back on the win side. And these same two teams are going to go at it 2 nights from now in Lawrence, and you and I will have the chance to be there for that. We'll see how the rematch goes.
Oh, yeah. You got to know that the faithful are going to come out and be very loud in Lawrence.
A 10-point win for TCU, 74-64.